I can't do the sit down thing because there's not enough space and this isn't the right chair.
What's going on with you guys? TheCaliEffect, king of games here, and I know the camera is out of focus, but that's mainly because you're out of focus with how powerful Adamancipators are. You see how I use that as I'm gonna focus the camera now. Adamancipator has shown itself in the past to be a really strong deck, making some really huge combos before your opponent can activate hand traps because of Quackimiru Guardian. And in this format, it's no different. With the help of prank kids, I think that you can be rocking your opponent with a lot of foolery, tricks, pranks, however you want to say it. In this video, I'm not only going to be showing you an insane Adamancipator Prank Kids deck profile, I'm also going to be showing you a few test hands, just in case you don't believe that this deck is too strong. So of course, if you want to see more videos like this, then be sure to destroy that subscribe button, but also go ahead and hit that notification bell because, well, we just too strong. So with all that being said, let's jump into the deck profile so I can show you exactly how Adamancipator Prank Kids work. Starting off with the main board, I'm rocking with 3 copies of Researcher, 3 copies of Adamancipator Seeker, and of course 3 copies of Adamancipator Analyzer. In every Adamancipator deck, whether it is a pure or a variant, you're going to want to max out on all 3 of these guys because they are the bread and butter, or they are the sediment to this deck. Get it? Because they're rocks. They also all have ways to special summon themselves to the side of the field and are tuners. So, I mean, yeah, you don't play any other tuners in the deck. These are easily the cards that will rock you. I do play 1 copy of Adamancipator Crystal Dragite. Some players do think that this is optional. I think it's optional, but it's really, really good. It allows you to draw a card when it is summoned, and if you use Adamancipator Signs to special summon it, you can essentially stack any of these Adamancipator monsters to the top of your deck to draw, which kind of comes up. Now we are done with our miners and the card that you mined. The next most important card is Doki Doki. Now, Doki Doki essentially allows you to turn any rock monster in your hand to any rock monster from your deck to your side of the field. It can turn a monster into an Adamancipator monster when you need to excavate, and more importantly, it can turn it into Quackimiru Guardian, which allows you to prevent yourself from being hand trapped. That is pretty important. I also follow a Quackimiru Guardian with Quackimiru Supplier. I was playing only 2 copies of this card until you kind of realize that this is a really good extender. It's amazing at allowing you to chain block when you summon cards like Hawklifibrix, and it searches Quackimiru Guardian for you to be able to discard with Doki Doki or banish with Prank Kids Roxy's, or sometimes even summon. That comes up. Moving forward though, there is an additional engine that you play. Some people actually decide to play the Dodo engine. I like the Prank Kid engine with just 3 copies of Roxy's and 1 copy of Dropsies. Now you could go full on Prank Kids and run the Fansies, the Lampsies, and the Prank Kids Pandemonium, but I've actually found that this is really, really perfect. A lot of players want to go to infinity and beyond. They want to make this deck as combo-y as possible. Nibiru is coming back though, so you might want to watch out. The only thing I want to do is turn a level 4 monster into a level 2 monster so I can safely make Herald before my opponent can Nibiru me, or just safely make Herald. Roxy's also allows you to get rid of dead rocks to draw a card that can come up when you're trying to draw hand traps. Now, one thing you could play is Prank Kids Pranks, but you're gonna have to play Doodle Doodle Doo. That allows you to recycle your Prank Kids cards into your deck to draw a card. I thought that was really cool, but I decided against it. I just thought it was a little too much. But that's it for the Prank Kids. Moving forward, 3 copies of Parallel Exceed. This card is amazing. Anytime you open it, you normal summon a monster, you make Gallant Granite, or you can make Abyss Dweller. What a lot of people do sleep on is that Abyss Dweller does win matches against some of the top contending decks, so pay attention to that. And then for the hand traps, we play 8 with 3 copies of Ash Blossom, 3 copies of Ghost Bell, and 2 copies of Skullmeister. You guys already know what it is for hand traps. You play them, you win. These are the best hand traps in Yu-Gi-Oh right now, and if you want to see a hand trap tier list, then go ahead and check out that video. Of course, that is 34 monsters. Moving on to the spells, I play 3 copies of Triple Tactics Talent. But of course, if you guys cannot afford Triple Tactics Talent, just play more hand traps. You're not always going to be able to get that Quackimiru Guardian, and you're not always going to be able to get Tactics, but if you increase your hand trap count, you could at least stop your opponent from popping off, and theoretically you have another turn. The next card is 1 copy of Call by the Grave, Hand Traps, 1 copy of Monster Reborn, and of course 3 copies of Adamancipator Sign. Easily Reborn and Signs are mandatory cards, must play. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Now there is 1 card that I was actually playing around with, and it's Rock Band Xeno Guitar. This card's it's alright, but I'm not main decking it currently. The thing that I like about this card is that you can special summon it, then make Hoklophyrex special summon the rock monster that you want to your side of the field, whether it's Seeker or Researcher. Then when you synchro summon with this, you put the rock monster on top of your deck. That actually is pretty cool. It's also a card that you can banish with your Prank Kids Roxys, but I mean, it is what it is sometimes. It doesn't always come out. And then the extra deck, 1 copy of Satellite Warrior, 1 copy of Borreload Savage Dragon, 1 copy of Crystal Wing. I know you guys have not seen Satellite Dragon in a minute. This card's godly. I mean, seriously, when you play this deck, you can destroy at the very least, 2 cards on your opponent's side of the field. I've destroyed upwards to 4 cards on the field. Meshach's destroyed upwards to 4 cards. Yeah. If you want to see what I'm talking about, watch that Adamancipator versus ABC live duel. It was really, really fun. But of course, Borreload and Crystal Wing, you can make this card really easy. 1 copy of Raptite, 1 copy of Leonite. These cards are really good. Decided not to play the blue one because it just never came up. 1 copy of Arclight, 1 copy of Formula Synchron. This is one of the only combo decks that can still make Herald of Arclight, which prevents your opponent from using cards like Forbidden Droplets, from sending monsters from their hand to the graveyard. And of course, yeah, it actually comes up in the Drytron matchup. Of course, the Formula Synchron, we actually use Hoklophyrex for what it was intended for. 1 Apollousa, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Hulk, 1 IP, 1 Prank Kids Meow Meow, 1 Solomon Great All Mirage. You could cut this for the Doodle-Doodle-Doo, but sometimes this card comes up, sometimes it doesn't. 1 Gallant Granite and 1 Abyss Dweller. Again, this is one of the very few combo decks that can actually consistently make Abyss Dweller, and in a meta where, I mean, everything's weak to Abyss Dweller, this card's kind of strong. Some other cards you could be playing in your extra deck is, of course, the Water Adamancipator Risen Dragite. Unfortunately, it just never came up for us. 1 copy of Prank Kid Doodle-Doodle-Doo, and of course the Battle Butler if you're deciding to play that. But now that I'm done with showing you how powerful Adam is, let me show you guys some test hands and how good this deck can be. Okay guys, so it's gonna be pretty exciting to show you guys how powerful Prank Kids are. And if the video's not too long, I will be showing you another test hand. But regardless, I will show more test hands on my Patreon. So if you guys aren't locked into that one, be sure to do so. As well as you guys having that live duel. So you have multiple ways where you can see some good test hands. So in this particular situation, I am not in this is like just not a great hand, mainly because I have no way to summon an Adamancipator monster because it requires having an Adamancipator monster. But I think we can still manage. I'll start off by normal summoning Adamancipator Seeker, and this Seeker's effect will determine on if this was a good board or not. Typically, we can hit with our Adamancipator monsters. So of course, off top, I'm going to hit the Doki Doki. That bad puppy is going to special summon itself to the side of the field, and this is going to be our opponent's last opportunity to hand trap us, as Doki Doki will discard the Quackimiru Guardian to be able to special summon another Quackimiru Guardian to our side of the field. I typically go for Guardian almost no matter what, strictly because, I mean, it's good. The next thing I'm going to do, I normally don't do this either, I'm going to go ahead and link summon into Crystron Hoklophyrex. Where's that Hulk? Here we go. And then I'm going to trigger Hoklophyrex, Quackimiru Supplier as Chainlink 1 and 2 respectively. I'll special summon Supplier to my side of the field, and then I will also, wrong card, I will also bring out my Adamancipator Researcher. Now, as you guys know, I can't use Adamancipator Researcher's effect due to Crystron Hoklophyrex. Quackimiru Supplier will allow me to add a Quackimiru Guardian to my hand, but this is actually okay, as I'll be able to pop off with some pretty interesting boards. I don't even think I need the Prank Kids monsters to be able to help me out here, but being able to banish the draw and potentially get a hand trap is pretty bossy. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and synchro summon into Adamancipator. Where is that card? Here we go. Adamancipator Resite. And as you can see, I can stack my opportunities. I'm going to use Adamancipator Signs, special summoning my Researcher, and then of course I can place a rock monster to the top of my deck. my monster of choice is going to be my Crystal Dragite. So I'll be able to draw an additional card as well as special summon her to the side of the field, or it, whatever you want to call it. Make sure that I'm showing you guys that we are in there. Boom, we'll activate the effect of Researcher, and oh my god, guys, that Dragite that we were hoping to hit, I'll special summon and draw a card. That is a really, really good card to draw. Now, my ending board is going to be a little bit dependent on what Raptide hits. I believe if we hit a level... No, actually, I don't know what it'll be, so let's go ahead and just activate its effect. We're going to get Analyzer, Triple Tactics, Dropsies, Skullmeister, and a Call by the Grave. Obviously, I'm going to take the Adamancipator Analyzer, and we don't even need Analyzer's effect, as I'm going to use the Raptite and the Researcher for a Synchro. I'll Synchro into Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, then trigger the effect of Analyzer, because why not? Doki Doki, Joyous Spring, Ghost Bell, Seeker, and Roxy's. This is kind of good. I don't even know what to do. So I typically try my best not to get too greedy, but if we just so happen to draw an Adamancipator Researcher, I can literally show you a board. I'm gonna go ahead and special summon Roxy's to my side of the field. And now I'm going to use both these monsters for an Exceed Summon. We will Exceed Summon into that Abyss Dweller, which is really good against a lot of the top contending decks. And finally, I'll use Roxy's for a link. Roxy's will link into that Meow Meow Mew. We'll banish Roxy's. Please draw a Hand Trap or Researcher. Oh, an Analyzer. We'll draw, and then we'll be able to special summon, obviously, the Dropsies to our side of the field. So a lot of my boards normally wind up like this. Let me go ahead and sub this out. A lot of the boards normally wind up like this. You normally get a Herald, Crystal Wing, Dweller, and Hoclofibrix, but this is pretty much the same negations, except for two interesting monsters that could have netted me a different Hand Trap. I actually, in this particular sequence, have a stronger board because not only do I have Monster Gates and with Quackimiru Guardian Crystal Wing, my opponent doesn't have a graveyard access, but more importantly, I can use Hoclofibrix effect. We can special summon Formula Synchron, which potentially gets us another Hand Trap, and then we can use Formula Synchron to synchro with our Prank Kids Dropsies into that Herald of Arclight that we so desperately may have needed, or we can rewind just a little bit. We can Synchro Summon with the Formula Synchron and the Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon into our Satellite Warrior, which will allow us to destroy 3 cards on our opponent's side of the field and gains 3,000 attack. Keep in mind, we still do have Ash Blossom and Skullmeister in our hand that we drew through Adamancipators. This deck is too strong. You're sleeping on it. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to show you guys more test cans, but I will put them on Patreon for everyone to watch. Just go ahead and check out the Patreon, guys. You don't have to be subscribed. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, share this with a friend, give it a like, tell everybody that Adamancipator Prank Kids is really, really strong. And of course, check out one of these awesome videos, as I'll catch you on the next one.